Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel once again. This is your friend Abhishek, but not a financial advisor. And today we are going to talk about what the hell happened with the Chinese stocks. Same statement, which I mentioned in my last video, but in a positive way. So, day before yesterday, actually, I recorded this video. What happened with the Chinese stocks, why they were getting hammered, but I posted it yesterday since I'm in India, so I posted it before the market actually opened. And then boom, just amazing. I mean, super amazing. So nice to see this positive uptrend in the Chinese stocks finally. And in that video, you can have a look at this video in the icon above somewhere. And I mentioned it that how I am not getting panicked at all because I have drew a line for my Chinese stocks first of all, and also that why I think that these effects which are affecting the Chinese stocks or which were affecting the Chinese stocks, as a matter of fact in a negative way, were just temporary in my opinion. And then Beijing came out and they mentioned that, hey guys, listen, whatever you are thinking about the Chinese stocks and the Chinese government, and people were so much skeptic with the Chinese government that why they are not stepping in, why Beijing is not clearing up the statements, and why the SEC from China is not stepping in. I mentioned this in my previous video also, that they would not come each and every month. They mentioned it once and that should be enough, but people and new investors, they just keep on reading negative news, and it's okay, it's normal, it's psychology, and then they get super affected. But anyways, finally yesterday was the day when they finally came out again and they cleared up all the mess which was really creating such a havoc on the Chinese market. So just to summarize this, guys, for those who just want to stick around until now and they don't want to see the full video, so for those, so basically what happened is that Beijing came out and they clarified many things to soothe the overseas investors. So they said that yes, we know that the economy in China is slowing down. That's a different economy altogether with respect to US. So you have to understand that the US economy is fighting with inflation, whereas in China there is no inflation whatsoever, but the economy is slowing down because of that. So they will apply some monetary policies to boost the economic growth, and this is what they mentioned. Plus, apart from that, they also said that they know that there are many rumors out there that this and this companies are going to get delisted, and they know that SEC has been fighting for good paperwork and all of this stuff, and they said that they are working with the US officials to get this paperwork more transparent and get all the required documents for these companies to stay listed in the US stock exchange, because they care about the overseas investors and therefore they are working on the US-China relationships. Plus, everything what happened with the US, with the Russia-Ukraine stuff, and China having the same geopolitical enemy, so-called the US, they also said that don't bother about such stuff. We are not involved in this war. Everything is okay. We are trying to make good relationships with US, especially regarding the Chinese businesses listed on the overseas stock exchange. And this is what they mentioned, and they clarified everything. And this is why the investors finally gained some confidence, because many investors were thinking why Chinese government is not stepping in, why the SEC officials from China are not stepping in and clarify everything out there. And I mentioned this in my previous video that, guys, they did clarify some of the rumors last year. The chief general from the Chinese SEC department came out and mentioned that they are working on the China-US relationship to get this all paperwork done, which is demanded by the US SEC. And this is what I mentioned, guys, that they will not come each and every month to clarify for all the news which is coming out there. But of course, we investors, especially new investors, have this psychology, and they get really fast affected by the news, and therefore the sell-off happens. But the Chinese stocks were on a big sell-off, and this was needed. Also, I think in my opinion it was really needed, and finally Beijing came out and cleared off many doubts. Now I am optimistic, of course. That's why I'm invested into Chinese market. But please remember, guys, diversification is needed. China is a complete different economy. The risk factors, there are still some risk factors involved in Chinese economy, okay? And the US economy is totally different. And this is what you should remember, that these pieces of news are positive. Yes, they are positive, but that doesn't mean that China doesn't have a risk. Indian economy has its own risk. Chinese economy, Chinese market has its own risk. US economy, US market has its own risk. Every economy will have its own risk, and therefore diversifying into these economies means diversifying your risk. This is what you need to learn, you need to understand. Yeah. So yes, the news is basically too positive and I really like it, and I'm not a short-term investor into Chinese stocks, so these 30-40% upside is still not what I am really looking for. Anyways, too much blabbering. Now let's get on to the articles which were released yesterday, and let's see what were the actual statements made by the Chinese officials. Okay guys, so this article says that optimism swept the investors yesterday after China's top administrative authority said it would work to stabilize Chinese stock markets and boost economic growth in the first quarter with concrete actions. The state-run Xinhua news agency reported this. So like I said, that China will be working on to boost the economy, because in my last video, like I said, that the economy was slowing down due to consumer expenditure was reducing, the buying power was reduced. So authorities will rely on monetary policy as well as new loans to achieve its goals, said the report, which was also posted on the Chinese State Council website. So like I also mentioned, that they will be using some monetary policy. So like I said, that you have to understand that Chinese economy and the US economy are a bit different. So US economy is fighting with inflation, whereas the China's economy is nowhere near inflation. So what they could do is that since they are nowhere near inflation, they could lower the interest rates, what US did during the pandemic, and therefore they printed a lot of money on top of that to boost the economy, and they gave this money out to the public in the form of stimulus packages, and therefore people could spend more and more money, and that increased the liquidity in the economy, and that gave a velocity a push, the velocity of money a push, so that people could spend more. And in case of China, this is not happening, and therefore the economy is slowing down. And that's what maybe this could be. This is just my opinion. This is one of the steps, or they will of course do follow some monetary policies, whatever is decided by the government. But they came out and said this is a step forward. Now the article further says the news out of China also included positive developments on regulatory front, a welcome sign for the country's embattled tech sector. So this was one of the things which were needed for the investors, especially because this regulatory environment for all the tech sectors in China has been a big step back, a threat for the tech sectors, with more and more fines, with so many restrictions, with this competition restriction policies. Yeah, this has beaten down the tech sector, and it has been eating up on all the gains from these tech sectors, what they're making from their fundamentals. So this is again a really good news in my opinion. Now the article further says the Chinese government said it has maintained good communication with the US regulators and has been working on a cooperation plan alongside expressing support for overseas listings. The State Council also said authorities should steadily advance and complete the rectification work on large platform companies as soon as possible through transparent and predictable regulation. If you remember in my last video, please watch that video. I mentioned that why I drew a line for my investment in China, why I am investing only in the big market caps, and this is a statement which backs up my plan and my investment journey and my investment plan. So it says that rectification work on large platform companies should definitely be done. So the bigger tech giants, the big companies which are actually boosting the economy of China, which are the backbone of China, which are bringing up businesses from outside world, from the global economy, they will be taken care first. And that's why I mentioned, guys, that these are the businesses like Alibaba, Neo, XPENG, Tencent, BAIDU. These are some of the companies which will definitely not get delisted. But anyways, that was just my opinion, and they further support my opinion. So again, the statement is a good statement, but don't take these statements for granted. Don't get too hyped up, okay? This is my opinion. This is not any financial advice. I'm not getting too much hyped up with this, because Geopolitical relationships, guys, are a really strange thing, and this is out of anyone's comfort zone, trust me. And it's really difficult to understand these relationships, and anything can happen. And I'm not trying to give you guys some negative impact after such a good news. Don't, I'm not trying to pull you guys down. Enjoy enjoy the positive news, but you have to be careful. This is always a basic rule of your investment. Diversification is a must. Don't just pump up too much money into Chinese stocks now because of such good catalyst. Yeah, be greedy when others are fearful, and this was a few days before. But again, the Chinese fundamentals, the Chinese stocks have really good amazing fundamentals right now. Even after this bull run in one day, they are still way undervalued. So think carefully. What I'm doing, they are way undervalued. Like I said, I am putting a small amount of money, but I'm not letting my Chinese stocks go up more than 5% from in my portfolio. So make a plan, do the diversification. This news doesn't mean that China's economy doesn't have any risk. Two different economies, China, US, or compared with India, different economies, different economic structure, different type of growth, and different risk. Diversification means you're diversifying your risk. That's it. Okay, anyways, so the article further says the threat that Chinese stocks could be delisted in the US over a lack of accounting transparency has a major headwind for their country's overwhelming foreign listed tech sector in the recent months. We all know that this has put a really big negative impact on the Chinese stocks. One of the reasons. Regulatory scrutiny more broadly has seen the market value of companies like Alibaba crumble over the past year. The stock dropped some 50% in 2021 as Beijing cracked down on the tech sector. We all know that the sell-off in Chinese stocks, and especially US listed Chinese stocks, picked up pace last week. Yeah. And the gains of Alibaba, JD.com, and others on Wednesday mostly underdo recent declines. Yeah, this is just some stuff which we already saw that they picked up some pace. Investors have fretted over a trifecta of pressures, including US regulatory concerns, new COVID-19 lockdowns in China, and the risk of sanctions in China aids Russia in its war on Ukraine. So these were some of the things which added up, yeah, on the Chinese stocks as a negative catalyst. So the China aids Russia, and the COVID aiding Russia also impacted the stocks further. But all of this stuff has been cleared now, and this is the news which I wanted to share with you guys. So this is what I wanted to clarify, and I hope you guys get the idea why the Chinese stocks picked up the pace yesterday and what is going to happen. So in my opinion, what's going to happen is that they will keep up the pace. Yeah, there will be some volatility for sure, and this volatility is not because they are Chinese stocks. The volatility will be there because of other economic factors, and the economy doesn't improve in a day or so. Yeah, so until and unless they do some they mentioned that they will be applying some monetary policies, but we don't know yet which monetary policies. So until and unless the actual concrete plan is given out, then we can be sure that these steps will be included. For now, this is still really good that they actually came out and cleared off all the factors which were creating a lot of panic. So this is it, guys. This is what I wanted to let you guys know. So I think that this is a bit of this is really good news, and I will keep my my plan is the same. Keep my monthly savings plan, SIP plan, for the Chinese stocks. Not pumping too much money because still the market, in my opinion, will be volatile. So that's it, guys, and that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and ciao.